everybody, Aaron Blaze here. It is Friday the 13th. It's Halloween weekend. No, it's not. But it's Friday the 13th, so be careful out there. We got a good one today. We last weekend we just missed the margins with you guys as far as having my new book. I wanted to show it to you, but we didn't get it delivered until later in the day after the live stream. But today I've got our new book, The Art of Aaron Blaze, and I want to share it with you. For those of you that have already pre-ordered, please bear with us. Or actually, you'll get to see more of the book today. But I want to share it with you guys and let you know it's still in pre-order. It is on a boat right now. We have had confirmation that they've... we kind of got confirmation, right? That they shipped?
Yeah.
The books have shipped. They are on a steamer, I guess. It's not the 1800s.
Steamer.
They're shipped to us.
Yeah, they're shipped to us. They're on a steamer from far away.
They're actually traveling from the year 1847.
But they are on a cargo ship going from China to us. So it's going to take a few weeks, to say the least, to get to us. And then once we get them, I will start signing like crazy. My little hands are going to be tired. But I'm going to start signing like crazy and we'll sign every pre-order we get. And we've gotten a lot. And then we're going to ship them out to you guys. So we're very excited about that. And then also we've got our 100 drawings book that I'm going to share with you today. So we've got two books. We started off the year with no books to our credit, and now we have two. And I'm really excited about that. But the other thing I'm excited about is today we are ready to pre-order Ken Sperduso's new course on his introduction to drawing portraits. We had Ken here a few weeks ago here in our studio. He came in for 3 days and we recorded. Ken and I used to work together at Disney. He's an incredible artist, wonderful painter who specializes in oil portraits, but also drawing portraits and that sort of thing. And when we started discussing what to do, we thought an introduction to portraiture would be a great way to start, to ease Ken into doing our courses with us. And he did a wonderful job. And I think down the road, we're also going to be doing an oil painting course on portraits, which is his specialty. But in this course, Ken talks about the fundamentals of facial structure, the anatomy, how to create a likeness, talks about lighting, understanding lighting, bounced light, all those different things. All the things that add up to great portraits. And Ken is a master at it. He's a professor or a teacher over at Ringling College of Art and Design right now. And like I said, before that, we worked together at Disney for 20 plus years. And so there you have it. So that's in pre-order right now. So going over to creatureartteacher.com/
Just creatureartteacher.com. Right.
Yeah, just go there. And then you'll be able to find it. So sorry, I've been burning the midnight oil. Been working a lot on Snow Bear. That's the other thing. We've completely immersed ourselves. Once we got through some milestones that we needed to get done for the business, Nick and I, and so the last 3 weeks or so, we've been able to immerse ourselves back into Snow Bear, and we're getting that thing done, and we can't wait to share more with you. The other thing too, tomorrow, and there's still a few seats left, and I'm telling you, not very many. We are limiting it to 300. But tomorrow is our live event. Mine and Chuck Williams, he and I are getting together. And Chuck and I have worked together, we've known each other for 33 years. And we have been a directing team. We've been a producer directing team. And we have a certain process in the way that we come up with ideas for films, develop those ideas, finding character, finding the world, finding the thematics, finding ways to get them off the ground, how you bring on your crew, how to pitch, all these different things. These are some techniques of our own. It's our own way. I mean, every filmmaker has a different way of making films, and but these are some methods that we've come up with that really help us. And so we're going to be talking about all that on Saturday, tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to go for 6 hours with a 30-minute break in the middle for food. But we're going to go 3 hours and 3 hours, I believe it is. And
we get a lot of questions about this, but for those of you that for some reason cannot tune in live, you will get a recording of it afterwards that you can rewatch as many times as you want, but you have to pre-register. So,
yes.
So you can't get it after the event. You can only get it between now and tomorrow. So.
Yes, to make that very clear, because we've gotten that question a lot. You cannot purchase it as a recorded event afterwards, but you can purchase a ticket, and if you can't be there, you'll be able to watch it. Okay, so I hope that makes it clear.
Made perfect sense.
So, but you cannot purchase it after the event. This is exclusive for the first 300 people that sign up. Okay, and like I said, it's going to be our methods for the way we create our stories and our films. You know, Chuck just got done developing, producing, and getting made Sonic the Hedgehog, which many of you might know about. It was in theaters recently. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about some of his new projects that he has coming up, some projects that he and I have worked on together, and you know, all the inspiration and the different things that have affected us in one way or another. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very structured, but it's going to be loose at the same time. And I'm really excited to share it with you. It's the first time he and I have ever really done this. We've done a lot of lectures together, but no more than an hour. I think he and I did a TED Talk actually together, which are only, 18 minutes?
Yep.
But this is going to be 6 hours. 6 hours of us yapping. And so I think you guys are going to love it. I hope.
Just hope your your vocals will be able to last that long.
I know. I always get hoarse at the end. I become a pony. I'm just a little hoarse.
I mean, that's usually, an hour and a half later?
Yeah.
After a live stream?
Yeah. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be very interactive, too. So, which is one of the reasons we keep it down to 300 and less, so that everybody can get questions and everybody can get questions answered, and we can interact. Let's go. You want to go to the books? Oh, and also, we got Nick Birch is in the studio today. We got Dustin Blaze in the studio today.
Hi. I'm back from vacation. I think I missed the last 3 streams?
2, I think. 2 streams.
I missed 2 streams.
Yeah, you were gone 2 weeks.
I thought you were gone 3
I
weeks.
think I missed 3.
Oh, maybe you did.
I left on that.
Oh, you did. Yeah, either way. Yeah. So Nick has been gallivanting all over the country, him and his family in their car, and driving.
We were
Gallivanting. And but it's nice to have him back. And so here we are. So we've got these 2 books.
Go ahead and move the books up just a tad.
Up here like that?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to start with our Art of Aaron Blaze book.
Yep.
So this is still in pre-order. You guys can still go to creatureartteacher.com/books. Both of these are in that site, and you can order. And like I said, I will be signing all the pre-orders for both books. Okay, so until we get our books in, it's considered a pre-order, and if you get it in there, you will get a signed copy. All right, and if you order both, you'll get 2 signed copies. But I'm very happy with the quality of our books. How many pages is this one? Does it say? Is there a page count?
I should know. No.
Oh, there's no page.
I should know the final count, but it's like 250 pages.
Yeah, it's 250 pages, like
Wow.
260 illustrations. You said?
Yeah, something like that. It's well over 200 images and it's over 200 pages. So put it that way.
One of the things I'm really proud of and really happy we got is this forward right here from Don Hahn. For those of you that don't know Don Hahn was the producer of The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Maleficent. I also think he did Atlantis.
He's done tons of stuff. He also did he does most of the.
Trying to remember everything he did.
Most of the Disney nature movies as well.
Yeah, Don and I have known each other for 30 years, and we've become good friends. And I really respect his filmmaking abilities and his ways of getting films done, and his appreciation for art. And he's always been a big cheerleader of mine at Disney and supported me. And so when we made the book, I asked him if he would write the foreword, and he jumped right on it. So I'm very proud to have Don in here, and very happy and very thankful. So if you're watching, Don, thank you so much for that foreword. And then the dedication in here that Nick actually came up with, and I'm really happy with that. And I love this. It's to all those who strive to put some beauty back into the world. And so that's who we've got this dedicated to. And so as far as the contents go, the book is literally just a collage, a collection, a grab bag of selections of works for over the last 25 years, I guess. 22 years.
Yeah, I think one of the oldest is the grizzly bear painting, and I think it was at what?
1998. So
98?
Yeah, so 20 plus years.
Yeah, I think that's the oldest image of the book.
23
There might be
years.
something a little older than that. I can't remember, but
You can't remember?
And as you guys know, I jump back and forth between realism and cartooniness and all kinds of stuff. And so it showcases that, and that's something I thought was kind of fun, going from realistic animal paintings into pushed character drawings for films that I've done, and it's got everything in between. So we're really, as far as the content goes,
don't
love.
show every page because they're gonna watch this video and it's gonna be like they don't even need the book.
I just jumped 20 pages. But it's got traditional. A lot of people have asked, is it all digital? No, it's got a lot of digital, but it's also got charcoals. It's got watercolor. It's got acrylic paintings. It's got oil paintings. It's got all the different mediums that I do. And so there's that. And so if you are interested in this book, go to creatureartteacher.com/books, and you can still get it. And it's awesome. Here, this is a, I came when I was working at Digital Domain directing a movie back in 2012, and the studio went under. They went bankrupt, and all of a sudden I was without a job. So I started selling off all my animal paintings. Anything I had on my walls, I started selling in order to pay my mortgage, and until I could find another job. And then I was taking commissions. And so this painting of this hippo, I had a friend of mine in California who loved hippos. And he goes, "Hey, man, can you paint me a hippo? I'll pay you." So I was like, okay. And so I just happened to have this wonderful, wonderful reference of hippos in the Mara River from when I was in Africa the year before. And so this is a hippo that I had seen, and I got this big canvas and set up, and over the course of a week and a half or so, I painted this hippo in oil. He loved it, paid me, and I paid my mortgage. So there you go.
It's funny how
you can make a living doing
like that.
You can make a living doing art. What's that?
I was saying, it's funny how commissions can be like that sometimes. If you're like, "Hey, can you make this for me? I'll pay you." Yeah, sure, why not?
Exactly. Yep. That's how it works. And are there any questions, by the way?
Not quite yet. Everyone's just leaving out comments saying that they're very excited for the book and
oh, good.
And this and that. Yeah. So, no questions just yet.
Yeah, if you guys got questions, shoot them out there.
And actually, somebody did just ask: are these going to be digitally signed or hand signed?
No, not digitally signed. It's already digitally signed. I've got every painting in here is digitally signed.
But the book itself is going to be hand signed.
This is going to be hand signed. Yes, I'm going to, with my hand, with a Sharpie, sign every single book. Yeah.
In fact, are these the very Sharpies?
It's going to be more than one Sharpie.
Are these going to be the very same Sharpies that will be used to sign?
Probably not. Those are colored. They'll probably be using black.
There will be several thousand signatures that I've got to do.
Lots of Sharpies will be sacrificed.
Yes.
Oh,
did you see the pile of Sharpies that you have on your desk right there?
Yeah,
that's what he was asking.
That's what I was asking about. Are those the Sharpies?
Well, I bought those. We went to buy school supplies for the girls, and I just saw all these rainbows of Sharpies, and I went, "Oh, I want to try drawing with those." And so I I bought all the pretty colored markers for myself.
Someone's asking if we ship the book overseas, and the answer is yes, we do.
Yeah, we get that question a lot. We are shipping this worldwide. Yes.
So go to creatureartteacher.com/books and you can order. The other question we get a lot is, can I order both books together? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no, and the reason is they're not arriving to us at the exact same time, so we're shipping them out as soon as we get them, so we can't basically...
Yeah, we've been getting, actually, that's probably been one of our number one issues that people have been contacting us about, because I've had it on people messaging me saying, hey, I'm trying to order the 2 books, but then it tells me it's empty, and then I can only order one, and they get confused.
Yeah, you can only order one at a time because it's pre-order. That's how our...
Yeah, you can order both books. You just have to you can't put them both in the same cart.
Yeah.
You
That's
have
how
to.
our site works with all pre-orders, by the way. So these books are considered a pre-order. So whether you pre-order a class or what. Speaking of classes, again, I want to hit it one more time. Ken Sperduso's new course on Introduction to Drawing and Painting or Drawing Portraits is up for pre-order. And I want to just mention that for some people that don't know, if you are a member to our website, that automatically includes all of our pre-orders. So if you become an annual member to the website, you get Ken's course included as part of the website. Plus everything else we release over the next year.
Yeah. So when you're a member, you get everything, including whatever comes out that year, just like Nick said. I'm just mimicking, repeating.
And if you want to sign the book, you just pre-order the book. It's that simple.
Yep.
Vedanta made it into the book. There she is.
We're going to draw?
Yeah, you want to draw?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you show the 100 drawings? We showed that on the last stream, didn't we? Or did
I don't. Did I show it during the stream?
No, I don't think we have.
Oh, this is. I do want to show this. Nick, I'm one of the luckiest guys. First of all, Nick's a cool guy, and he's a great friend, but he's a genius. And Nick, this was Nick's idea, and I thought this is so cool. Look at the back of the book, right here. What are these called? QR codes?
Mm-hmm. QR codes, yep.
So every painting that has a video attached to it, meaning a making of, process video,
or a live stream,
or live stream, which would be a making of. Every painting in the book, every illustration in the book that has a video attached to it also has a QR code in the back of the book. So once you get to the end, this is so cool. Once you get to the end of the book, you can just put your phone up to the QR code and it'll take you right to the making of video of that painting and you can watch it. And it's cool how many there are. Look at how many there are. And we got a 2-page spread here, another 2-page spread right here. It's awesome.
Can't these QR codes be scanned right now?
Yes, they could.
They could be, yes.
Yes.
I mean, these are videos that are already online. So
yeah, they're already online. And then here's all my artist statement, my thank yous.
Not to pat myself on the back, but
there's my photo.
I also did the layout for this book.
Yes, I should have thrown that credit. Nick did the entire layout on this book.
And I'm really happy that I snuck in that photo of the.
Yes. Oh, and there's Dustin's photo.
Back, I gave you a credit. So.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. So.
No more book. You're gonna spoil it.
Yeah. So there it is. And I only went through about 20 pages out of 150 or 250.
Can Nick and Justin? I think she meant Dustin. Can Nick and Dustin sign a little too?
No.
No, we're the background guys. We're the factory workers.
You guys are the brains behind the outfit.
Who elected you in this outfit?
Is this centered?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
So here is our black and white 100 drawings. Pretty straightforward. What's the book about? It's 100 drawings. And it is strictly a picture book. It's just, we went through the sketchbooks, picked out our favorite 100 drawings, and here they are.
Yeah, this is just 100 pen and ink drawings.
All from my toned paper, using dark pen and jelly roll pens over gray paper.
YouTube question, what would you say your favorite animal to draw is?
Probably big cats. Any big cat and bears. I love bears. There's a lot of personality in them, and I love drawing them. I love painting them. Any kind of big game, I would say, big animals.
I think your top three are, as you said, big cats and bears, but also elephants.
I was just gonna say, I was looking at this one with the walrus.
Yeah.
I love elephants too. When you see them in the wild, it's crazy. It's just they're so big, and you can't believe that you're so used to seeing them as at least us here in the States, as kept animals, as in a circus or whatever, and you see them out in the wild and realize, no, this is an animal. They've been here for millions of years, and to see the size of this animal just walking across the plains, it really takes you to a different time.
I cannot wait to experience that.
What's your least favorite animal to draw?
Probably leeches.
Probably
Slugs.
humans.
Yeah, I don't like to draw slugs.
I didn't say least favorite animal. I said least favorite thing.
Oh yeah, I don't. No,
Toast.
Toast.
I don't like to draw toast.
I don't like to draw toast.
You don't like to draw nuts and bolts.
I don't like to draw stray hairs on wet soap. This is a caricature of my father. This one here.
Very nice.
Black-faced vervet monkey. That was right from our last trip to Africa.
What are those? That's in Africa?
Yeah.
So the large book, the Art of book, that's 12 inches tall by 9 inches wide.
Yes.
And this one is, I believe, 9 inches wide by, or is it 10 inches wide? But I can't remember what the final dimension of this one ended up being.
It would be 10 because, yeah, it's 10.
It's 10 inches wide by...
Probably
6
8.
inches tall? 8 by
No,
10.
it's 8 by 10.
8 by 10.
Yeah, it's 8 by 10 for sure. Yep. So there we go. Let's do some drawing. I feel like drawing. Hey, Nicholas Birch, can you hand me that big pad?
Absolutely.
And Dustin, I think you're gonna have to adjust the camera.
Yeah, actually, Nick, you can probably
Giant.
adjust the one. Yeah, I can jump up there.
Here, take these. Here, take this one too.
Let's see if I can get around here.
Hold on, everybody. We got some adjustments to make.
Yep, we're making adjustments. Working on the fly here. That's how we work.
Could you,
Look at that!
yeah, hold on.
We'll do it live.
Go on! That'll forever then.
Okay, hold on. Oh, you can. All right.
See if I can sneak in here.
Twitch comment. I can really recommend the membership. It's so worth the investment. The amount of content is staggering and still growing. I'm in my 3rd year right now.
I'm going to tilt this, okay?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. That makes me happy. Thank you for that comment. Is that okay?
Yeah, we're trying to add. We've actually been increasing our production over the last 12 months or so. We're trying to, I'd like to eventually get to a course, a time where we're putting out a new course every month. But we want to make sure that we never lose the quality. So I'd rather go slower and more quality than just try to hit a content number. But we're up over 450 hours at this point. Ken's course might put us over 460.
Hey Nick, how's that look on the picture?
Oh, that looks great.
Looks good?
Yep.
Good. Whew. My fat's pushing my ribs out. Oh.
Can you draw a lion being hunted by a giraffe?
It's awfully specific.
Someone just said, is it another request day?
I wasn't thinking it would be.
Well,
Gosh.
people are making requests anyway, so.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to draw them, but the requests are coming in.
Yeah, I was just kind of. I don't know what I'm drawing today. I'm just free forming it. I've been so immersed in Snow Bear. Here, I'll give you a little. I know I did it last week, but here. How's that look? Am I on camera here?
Yep.
Your head's in the bottom left corner, but like barely there.
Barely.
Barely.
You're fine.
Yeah, your face cam is covering most of it. You're good.
Show you a little snow bear.
Can you draw your art career?
I don't know what that means.
How about a big furry tarantula?
A whale? Someone else recommended draw a retired Dalmatian firefighter holding a toy fire engine.
Wow.
That's a
Boy, everybody gets really specific
yeah.
and really complex.
Like draw an elephant with a mouse sliding down its trunk with a tiny umbrella in his hand.
Is that a real one?
No, I'm just
Because that was pretty good.
It's actually that is a good one. A lizard named Bill playing the piano while his wife Jan is in the background doing her taxes. They're filing a joint return this year. It's very specific.
How about Nick drawn designed as a troll coming out of a closet.
Yeah. That was weirdly specific.
It's the Proco thing, whereas living in the closet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's my own request. I just remember us cracking that joke all the time of you living in the closet.
Yep. Oh, people are asking if we have any Lightbox news. Yes, we're going to be at Lightbox. We're going to be doing multiple presentations again this year. However, I don't think all the announcements for that actually happen until later this week. So we're going to be participating. That's all we can say for now.
Someone's asking, I noticed you're using rough newsprint.
Yes.
Do you prefer it over smooth? And if so, why?
I like the tooth. It grabs the charcoal a little better. I know the charcoal is a little messy on here, but I like it.
Someone's requesting, how about making something using the colored Sharpie markers?
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a nice YouTube video.
Speaking of YouTube videos, we got a special surprise I'm working on.
Oh yeah?
Well, you know, Aaron. You're probably not thinking of it right now, but I think people are going to dig it.
Do I know this?
No, I don't think you do.
One thing about polar bears is how really big and furry their feet are.
How about a Jeanette? Is it Jeanette or Gannett? G-E-N-E-T?
Do you ever look at a person and think they resemble a particular animal or?
Yes.
How do you come up with all the poses and expressions?
I just picture it in my head and draw it. It helps to know the anatomy.
It's all about going with the flow, man.
There, a little polar bear laying on the ice.
How about a real mouse being friends with a real duck?
That's really specific.
Yeah, that's a very random comment somebody
You
made.
gotta call the new rabbit.
Oh yeah, we got a new rabbit in the house. There he
Somebody
is.
wrote a very interesting comment saying, Matt Damon looks like an otter.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
There.
What's the string hanging off the pencil?
Oh, I got to. Matter of fact, I got to cut it because it gets in the way. This is you pull the string back so you can unwrap
The lead.
the charcoal as we go. So if I tear it back, then I can peel it away like this.
Instead of a sharpener, basically. Right?
Exactly. And bada bing, there it is.
Tom Gonzalez Jr. asks, I'm too lazy to look it up, but do you have a Procreate lesson? I'm contemplating getting an iPad and pencil.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Got a whole Procreate course
Yep.
on creatureartteacher.com.
I will post the link momentarily.
There.
Don't we even have brush, pre-made custom brushes for Procreate?
Yeah, they come with the course.
Right.
What if we could send this out to somebody? Roll it up in a tube.
We've actually still got some floating around that we said we were going to give away. We need to do that.
Well, here's one.
We can make it a random giveaway for any of the for anybody that pre-ordered a book.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Or our newsletter subscribers.
Newsletter subscribers, yeah.
We're trying to do that stuff every once in a while. Surprise people.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
There he is. I'm going to tear it out. We're going to roll it up. I wonder if it'll tear out cleanly.
He says, how about a bear playing
Oh,
an
look at
electric
that.
guitar?
Do what?
How about a bear playing an electric guitar?
There it is. It's on the floor.
Or a Nicolas Cage panda?
I'm just going to draw. I just like, I've got so much snow bear on the brain. I don't know what else to draw.
Can you do an environment?
I'd rather do character right now. Environment takes up a lot of time, and it's not sexy.
Not really your forte.
We do need to do an environment stream, though. It's been a long time since we've done anything.
It's been a long time since I rock and rolled.
It's been a while since I have made a landscape sketch.
You can't laugh at that stuff, Aaron. You're only encouraged.
It's so goofy.
Hey, Mr. Blaze, this is from Twitch. Thanks so much for your course on anatomy and such. They really gave me good practice during the pandemic.
Oh, great. I'm glad.
That is what we aim for.
And Groovy Flamingo on Twitch, who's a first-time chatter, asks, how long have you been drawing for?
Well, I'm 53, and I've been drawing since I was 9 months old. There you go.
Been drawing since you could walk, basically.
Well, I think I was drawing before I walked.
Oh, there you go. Even better. Oh, drawing a snow bear on a tropical island.
I'm going to do this. I love drawing big like this. These are always fun.
Somebody else on Twitch asks, is there any place to post art that was completed from the tutorials?
We do not yet have a
It's a cool idea, though.
feedback sort of system. We've been talking about it for a long time, whether it be a Facebook group or Discord or something like that. And we will do it one day. The problem is it's just, there's only so many hours in a day.
Yep. I've been really pushing on the Discord idea, but that's still further down the road. But we'll get there eventually. We'll get there.
I mean, it's only taken us 6 years to make an animated short film that's 8 minutes long.
I know.
God forbid how long making a Discord community is going to take.
You know?
20 years?
Truth.
Flying cars and Discord will be out at the same time.
Yeah.
Are you able to draw pretty much any animal now, like using the building blocks from others? How would you go about drawing an animal you've never seen before or never drawn before?
Well, it's. I would guess at the anatomy first of all, and then here I like to challenge myself by doing crazy angles on stuff as well.
Someone says since it's Friday the 13th, you should make a lion wearing a hockey mask.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Is that you, Frank? I'm going to walk into the darkness.
I want to remind everybody, because a lot of people joined late today, that tomorrow we're having a 6+ hour workshop with Aaron and Chuck Williams, where they're going to be teaching story development, pitching, how they approach putting a film together, putting a team together. They're going to be answering questions. Should be a great time. We've got like a handful of spots left. It starts tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can sign up and learn more at creatureartteacher.com/live.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was trying to indicate here, the way I'm drawing right now, is just how loosely I like to approach a lot of drawings. Just get a gesture down like this, like for this elephant.
YouTube question: what's your favorite Ice Age animal?
I love saber-toothed cats. And I got to, something about giant sloths fascinate me. How can a sloth be the size of a car?
You got this. We've gotten this question before. I'd love to see some of your childhood or teenage artwork. Do you have any you can show?
No, I don't. That's the problem. It's all burned up.
Yeah.
It all burned up in a fire.
Where are those?
There's one drawing that
Where are those ninja drawings?
No, I don't know. I don't know where those are.
There's one drawing of yours that I had years ago, but I don't remember what happened to it. But it was, I think it was something you drew in high school. It was like a very tall, slender, like.
Oh, I did that in college. Yeah, that robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do some character stuff here.
From Facebook, how do you draw a tiger or a lion snarl without it looking cartoony? Because every time I try it, it looks that way.
Well, let's see here.
Bachuro on Facebook says, "Thank you for saying saber-toothed cats. A little piece of me dies inside every time someone says saber-toothed tiger."
I just read that.
Wow, that's pretty dramatic.
But it is a saber-toothed tiger, isn't it?
Well,
No.
there's multiple cats. It's actually not a tiger.
Yeah. Not a request, but it's more just a simple question. But are you able to draw the Pixar characters like Buzz Lightyear or Mike Wazowski?
No, I'm not. I've never drawn them.
I think you could do Mike Wazowski. He's a ball.
With an eye.
Yeah.
But I've never drawn them.
If you could draw only one animal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It's got to be a toss-up between the big cats and bears, because I really love drawing them.
I would say fleas.
Fleas.
Well, you get to do the whole circus that way.
Yeah, it's true.
Trapeze, fleas, cannonball.
Is that a Jurassic Park reference?
No.
Spared no expense.
I'm struggling today. I got so much bear on the brain.
So much snow bear.
Yeah.
Twitch question: is the portraits course like the others on the site, or is it a live course? No, it is it's like the rest of the courses on our website. You go at your own pace. You can download
You
the
download it.
files.
Yeah.
You can stream it, whatever you prefer. Our live events, usually we do those about every 3 or 4 months, of which we happen to be doing one tomorrow. So that might be where the confusion is coming in. Any tips for making animal faces consistent in a comic setting? Do you make any some kind of characteristics? Basically, how do you draw a character consistently?
It's really all about using simple shapes. Let me show you. I'm wasting a lot of paper here. For me, it's keeping simple shapes and remembering proportions, right? And keeping your proportions simple. And I'm gonna use Snow Bear as my example because that's what I've been. Well, actually, let me draw one that that all you guys would know. Let's talk about Nala. So when I designed Nala, I wanted to be able to draw young Nala, the cub, for Lion King. When I designed her, I wanted to make sure, obviously, that I could draw her consistently throughout the movie, and other animators could draw her consistently. Well, you always see me drawing with that ball shape because when you're talking about the head, that's where we're starting. So that's a simple shape to get in there, right? I also know her eye line is going to be about halfway to maybe a little lower than halfway. So that means the bridge of her nose, because her eyes are going to be at the bridge of her nose, is going to be down kind of low. I also wanted her to be smooth. So you'll see smooth kind of transitions like on the bridge of her nose here. And the shape of her nose was simple. This is very simple kind of winged shape with a little bit of nostril right here. Okay? I'm drawing her in 3/4. So one thing you can do is draw that center line, right? And then I imagine, now I'm not going to see this, but I imagine, this part of the bridge of her nose coming up. Now this is going to lead right into the eyebrows. There's certain things that you remember, because she's going to have a forehead here. Like so. Now, here's that eye line. And I know I want her eyes to be somewhat big, right? Because she's a cub. I want child proportions. And with her, I put a little flare on the end of her eyelids there. And she's got dark, because lions have that mascara kind of feel around their eyes, that darkness around their eyes. Okay? And also, if you look at the shape of the eye, that's something I draw consistently as well. The shape of the eye comes up where, if you break it up into thirds, here's a third, and a third. The peak is in the back, like so. So you get this teardrop kind of shape. And the eyebrow shape mimics that. And it comes in under the eye there. And so you think of this as a plane coming down off the eye, and then this is another, that's the shape coming off there. So you get these shapes coming into the eyes. I also wanted her iris and her pupils to have fairly large size, like so. I'll put her pupil right there, like that. And now, what the eyes do, when you draw the eyes in, you kind of get this kind of thing coming around. If I draw in like so, it kind of gives me the indication of where I can put the cheeks, her cheeks. And they would fill out like so, like a cat. There's your fur. Now in this drawing, I've shortened her muzzle a little bit. I drew her muzzle just a little too short, but it's okay. And here, coming off the bottom of the nose, there's her mouth. Now I can make her smile. I can bring this around and give her a little smile here. And on the chin, I want the muzzle comes out and then comes down and it flows into the chin. And there's always like this little curl to the chin underneath, like so.
Someone says, I get lost trying to separate the simple shapes or I get lost when trying to break things down into simple shapes. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember what's in front and what's in back.
Well, that's just going to have to come from practice. You got to really discipline and think about what it is you're creating in 3 dimensions. Now, the big part are the ears. Now, baby lions have big ears. That's a real distinctive shape for our characters. Because once you get her ears on, then all of a sudden it becomes Nala, doesn't it? And you get this big triangular shape, see? And you put these S shapes here with the fur. And there's Nala. But it starts with that ball, and then you build on it. That's what we would do. We would build. And once you get that in your head, then you can... Are you able to see all this if I draw over here?
Yeah.
So now that I've got that in my head, well, I can go, oh, okay, well, her face is going to come down like this. I can think of her in any shape. There's that curl on the bottom of the chin, and I know she's got their big cheeks come up here, and her ear, I'm just turning her ear around in space. And I know there's a certain distance between her eye. Now, because her eye is turned to the side, I'm going to get a different shape to it.
YouTube question. I have a lot of medical issues in my arms. Do you think that would inhibit me from working a consistent animation job?
Well, I don't know what your issues are.
I mean, you obviously have to be able to.
But if you're
drawing animation, endurance is a lot of it, right?
Yeah, it's endurance. I mean, you're sitting there drawing for 12 hours a day, or however long you want to draw. So you can draw her from any direction once you have those shapes, and it's understanding how does that muzzle sit on her face, how does the rest of her face fit together, all of that. So then you can just draw, starting with that ball shape. I can go, okay, well, what if she's got her head turned? Well, I know that shape too. So you can just draw her from any point of view once you understand how those simple shapes fit together. And that's how, when we start animating, that's why when you watch, a movie like The Lion King or any of the, any decent 2D film that's hand drawn, every artist has taken the time to really get to understand. See, there she is from a rear 3/4 angle. Every artist has sat down to really get to understand what those characters look like in 3 dimensions, and you burn it into your brain.
From Twitch, have you ever considered making a farm animals course, such as like pigs, cows?
Yes.
Chickens?
Yes.
There's a question for you that came in earlier, which is why I set that thing next to you. Someone asked, have you ever made any flip books before?
Well, every time you do animation, you're doing flip books. But yes, I have made flip books. Matter of fact, I've got this little guy right here. I don't know how you're going to be able to see it.
I'll tell you when it's centered. Bring it closer to the camera.
Because I can't really turn it this way. That's a good. Because
Yeah, I can see it from there.
Can you see it animating?
Yep.
Yep.
It's working perfect. If you bring it up, you can even raise it vertically. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So this is a cat walk cycle that I did, and then ordered this box and made the copies of the drawings and created this little flip box.
Did you and the supervising animator for adult Nala keep communicating a lot to determine how she'd look as an adult?
Not as much as you might think. That was done by Tony DeRosa. And hold on, I'm chewing the string off. Tony DeRosa and I, we actually worked together on The Beast during Beauty and the Beast. We both animated The Beast, and then he did adult Nala, I did young Nala, and he was in California and I was in Florida, and we each worked on completely separate parts of the film, but we did get to, in the early design stages, we got together to make sure that the characters at least felt like a child and adult version of the same character. So, but going back to shapes again, here's another, you got this shape, I got this shape here. I always start here like so. So there's your simple shape.
Have you ever met Richard Williams?
I never got to meet him. I always wanted to. So once I get these simple shapes laid in.
What motivated you to do your own independent courses instead of joining something like Bobby Chiu's Schoolism or another site?
I wanted to share my own experiences and see if I could create my own school. That was the motivation. And I had just finished working at Digital Domain, and just thought, I've got all this experience, and just thought it would be a cool thing to try.
Do you draw sharks every now and then? Great whites, tigers, that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm. I used to draw sharks all the time when I was a kid.
Also want to follow up. We do work with Bobby on lots of stuff here. We have a great relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we refer people back and forth all the time. So it's a good.
Yeah, actually, Bobby Chiu, Proco, We're all good friends.
Any advice on how to study art?
Well, that's a big question. You know, you got the internet nowadays.
You study art by studying art.
Yeah, you study art. You can study all you want, but you got to do it too.
Any advice on how to draw bounced light? I've been working on it and struggling with it.
Sure. Let's talk about it. So there's Yao. Once again, here's a character that, you know, on the surface right here, it feels kind of complex, but it starts off very simply, and I just remember all the different proportions for everything that has to go into it. I haven't drawn Yao in years, but it comes right back to you because you're able to keep them, you know, keep it simple. But let's talk about bounced light. So let's talk about a simple sphere. Well, let's talk about a cylinder first.
Have you ever had to animate...
Hold on a second.
Okay.
That's okay. I want to get this thought out.
Shutting up, sir.
It's all right. So let's talk about a cylinder. So we've got, there's our top. Now we've got light coming in this direction, right here, okay? And let's say it's, let's say it's more this direction right here, okay? So we're coming in almost perfectly from the side. And one thing I want to show you is that this is not this is like a can. Because think of it as like a hollow can inside. So you always got to think about what's happening. And so let's say there's a wall right here. Okay, and that wall is white. Okay? So if we have light coming in, let's say we have a gray can. We have a white can. We have a white wall over here. And we have light coming in this way. We have light coming in this way. Obviously, the light is going to be hitting the can on the left side, and because it's a smooth surface, as we go around, it's going to be gradually darker, 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 right? Because there is no hard turn, you don't have a hard shadow edge. So what we're going to get is a smooth transition. I probably should do this with a charcoal stick. It might be a little smoother. As it gradually gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And we get darker and darker and darker on this side. Like so, and darker and darker and darker and darker. Okay? Now, because this is a can and light's coming in at this angle, light's going to hit the back side inside here, and this side will be in shadow inside the can. And it's going to cast a little bit of a shadow coming down like so. Okay, so now that's how you indicate, oh, okay, that cup looks hollow now. Now, light doesn't just shine in one direction and then that's it, okay? And this is where we start getting into bounced light. And this is why I made this wall back here white. If light is shining this direction, it's going to hit this wall along with the can. It's hitting the can. It's going to hit this wall, but it's also going to bounce back. Light bounces. So light is going to bounce off that wall and it's going to hit this side of the can. Now, it's never going to be as bright as the direct light, but there's enough to it that it's actually going to be a bounced light. and give a little bit of light to that shadow area. So then all of a sudden you end up with a little bit of light within the shadow. Like so. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Now, what else? What are we missing? Well, we're missing this shadow. So we have a shadow coming out like this, and because it's low, I'm gonna have this angle coming in like this. Let's follow the angle. The angle is going to come down here like that. So this is going to come up. We're going to get this shape here, like so. Okay. Now, the shadow is always going to be sharpest at the closest point to the object. The object that's casting the shadow will always be sharpest the closer you get to the object. And as you get further and further away from the object, the edges of the shadow will soften because the light will become a bit diffused. And at this point, right at the edge of the object, the shadow will be the darkest as well, because that's the least amount of bounced light is getting in there. But as you get further and further away from your object, you're going to get more and more bounced light inside the shadow. So that shadow will lighten. It won't go away, but it will lighten. Okay? So that you end up with something like this. Soft edges. Okay? And we can push this even more. Up here, we'll get even more bounced light just because it's up higher off the... And we can put a little more tone in here. So you'll end up, when you have this bounced light, you end up with your brightest bright on the left side, in this case on the left side, and it transitions into shadow. Now you're going to end up with an area called the core of the shadow, which is right here. That core of the shadow is the darkest area. It's where the least amount of light is hitting. It's not getting any bounced light because of the shape of the object. And it's getting not getting any direct light from on the left side here. So you get the darkest dark in your shadow right along here, and then we transition to the edge of the object that's receiving the bounced light, so that's going to lighten as well. Now remember, it'll never be as light as your brightest bright because that's direct light, but bounced light will light up your object. So that's a cylinder. Now let's talk about a sphere.
Real quick question. When you were younger, did anyone ever discourage you from using your left hand? Because I know it was sometimes frowned upon back then.
No. No, it was never an issue. Matter of fact, my entire family is left-handed. My brother, my father, my mother, we're all left-handed, which is pretty odd.
I was going to say, that's actually unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not...
So let's do the same thing, but this time we'll do a sphere. Okay? Once again, here's our wall, our white wall. Our light coming in this way. I'm going to try using that's right here. Whoops. I wonder if this is any better. So I'm going to bring in the shadow. You want to think about the contour of your object. Think about the shape of your object. This is much softer charcoal, so it works a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all rubbed in really good. Get those transitions nice and soft. And then go in with my eraser. Now, the brightest bright is going to be right directly perpendicular to the light. This will always be the brightest bright, and then it gradually, on a round object, lightens as we go away.
Today is International Left-Handers Day.
Look at that.
There you go.
Imagine that.
August 13th.
So I'm just lightly pulling out that first initial.
Is Dustin left-handed too?
No, I am right-handed.
So we have our light here, hitting the wall here, and it's going to bounce off. So once again, the direction of that is going to be coming in the opposite way. So as far as the core of the shadow goes, that's going to be our brightest bounced light, but it'll never be as bright as our direct light, right?
Any tips on how to get in the mindset of ignoring all the detail and simplifying what you see? What should I be practicing to simplify detail?
For me, it's look for shape. Get rid of the, blur your eye if you can, blur your eye, and just look at shape. And your light and dark pattern. So there we go. So you can start to see that little bit of light coming off of their bounced light. And then what we need here, I'm going to try to use my pencil. It's hard with this paper, but we'll do it. Is you get the core of the shadow right in here. This is all bounced light on the right side. Now, here we go. There's our core shadow. Now the other thing is, because the bounced light is actually bouncing downward, that core of the shadow is going to continue, and it's going to get dark down here. Now, depending on the value of the surface that the ball is sitting on, you'll get some bounced light off of that too. But when you get really close to the contact point, that's your darkest dark. Like so. Almost. Almost.
Dustin, some people are saying you sound quiet. I don't know.
And then here, because of the angle, because the angle is a low angle, our shadow, because if this is a ball, our shadow is going to be almost at the contact point. It's going to be like this shape. Okay? There's the shape of our shadow. And once again, we're going to be dark at the core. Let's try using our big stick.
Big stick.
Twitch comment. I watched Brother Bear for the first time last month. I'm pretty disappointed I didn't watch it as a youth because it's probably my favorite Disney film now. Thank you for the work. I really loved the Canadian Moose. They were so funny.
Oh, thank you. Well, I certainly loved making it.
Yeah, the moose characters are probably some of my favorite things about that movie. Along with the music.
So that's very rough. We'll smooth this out.
Do you have any tips on how to animate transformations?
Well, that's a broad question. There's all kinds of ways of showing a transformation. So, it's no. I mean, it's you got to figure out your art direction, how you want to. You know, when we did Brother Bear, you know, one of the cool things about transforming into a bear from a human is that bears structurally are very human-like underneath. And so it wasn't too difficult to get that transformation to happen convincingly. But there's other things that I've done where they're a little more difficult. Like I had to create, you know, the head ancestor in Mulan. When he comes to life, he's just a bunch of mist and twirling smoke. And I had to have him kind of appear out of the smoke. And so it's finding these organic shapes and forms and getting them to animate into recognizable organic forms. And so that was my challenge on that. But it's, you know, it's making sure that, you know, you can morph your shapes. I guess it's finding the shapes, right? It's making sure that your shapes, find those basic shapes from your original where you're starting and create the basic shapes of what you're going into. And if you can do that, then the rest is just detail. So here's our ball, trying to get that there, get the edges a little softer. And then once again, we're going to be a little darker at the core of the shadow.
Curious about this one. How do you feel when you watch a movie that you animated being shown on TV? Do you smile and watch the whole thing? I'm sure it must be an amazing feeling.
It's happened so many times. I don't really think about it anymore. Like I don't really watch anymore. I can't remember the last time I watched Brother Bear. It was years ago. Maybe at Nick's house. I think this was the last time I watched it.
I think it was a Christmas party a few years back.
Yeah, I just don't. It's cool. Yeah, it is. It's really nice to know that. You know, these big films that we worked on in the 90s still have life in them and people still love them. I like that. Sorry, I'm a terrible talker and drawer. There.
Have you ever had to animate anything that interacts with live action, like Roger Rabbit or Ben
Yes.
House and the Broomstick?
Yes, I had to animate Roger Rabbit. And so on one of the animated shorts, and so we had some live action that we had to animate too. And it's you know, when the camera is locked, it's not so hard, but sometimes they don't lock the camera down, and the camera is drifting, which means the floor plane is moving. And if you have a character that you can see their feet on the floor plane, you have to make sure that they feel locked, that they don't slide, and so you're always moving, and it's almost impossible. It's really, really difficult to do.
Which part did you do that was in the live action?
It was it was at the end of Trail Mix-Up.
When they're all injured walking off the...
Yes, and there. I was helping with the cleanup in there. I didn't animate in that section because I was done animating. But it's a big pain in the butt. So once again, if you can see where the shadow is there, and the core of your shadow here, your bounce light, just think about the logic. You know, the same thing here. You know, think about the logic of the shape, the way light bounces. This is where things get very, very left brain. They get very analytical. And for people that say, "Oh, artists just use their right brain, they're only the creative side," it's not true. Especially when you're doing representational stuff, you're always using your creative side, but you also got to use that analytical, thoughtful side of thinking about logic. Animation's a big part of that, but also just drawing a likeness of something or trying to understand the way light works. That's very analytical. You have to think about the formula of how light works.
Hey Aaron, since you're a professional artist, do you think you really have to go to college to get into the art industry like Disney, Pixar, or Marvel?
No, not anymore. Especially now with probably in the last 10 years, there's so much art education out there online. As a matter of fact, unless you work much better with a group of people, which is what college actually provides, that's the biggest benefit, is because I don't even think it's the level of teaching anymore, because I think you can find just as good, if not better, level of teaching online than you can find in colleges a lot of the times. But one of the great things about going to college, benefits that you get, is being with like-minded people, being there live, being there in person, and growing off of each other. That's a huge thing, and I really benefited from that.
You also make connections, right?
Yeah, you really do make connections.
You also, just as an example, Disney, Marvel, Hasbro, Hallmark cards, you name it, they tend to go to colleges to recruit people. So
yeah,
schools are good to get yourself in front of people that are likely to be doing hiring. However, definitely not the only way, to Aaron's point.
Right. It's definitely not the only way. And I think, I would have never done this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but I do now, and that is, I kind of recommend, unless you have a burning desire to learn around other people, college has gotten, the private colleges for art, especially the most successful ones, they have gotten so insanely expensive, obscenely expensive, that, and the problem with that is that not everybody is going to be an artist. Not everyone's going to get through college. Matter of fact, the majority will not continue on and make a career out of art. Now, and that's okay, and that's how it's always been. And that was one thing if you were spending, $5,000 or $10,000 on your entire art education. But now, as we get closer to $100,000, $150,000 on your art education, now you gotta start thinking about what, if you're really going to make it or not. And unfortunately, a lot of students go through not really understanding that they're not going to, they're not going to be able to compete. Now, if that's okay, if you want to just get out there and make art, because you love to do it, and that's wonderful. But I do think that it's a better bet to get your education online. And I'm not doing this just to pump our website. I would never do that. I truly care about young artists and them getting the best education they can. But I'm also weighing it against debt and just the cost prohibitiveness of what it is nowadays. And I think a lot of colleges should be ashamed of putting their students into the same kind of debt as if they had bought a new home. I think it's crazy. And I just don't think there's any room for that. And so if you can get the same level of education, you might have to give up a couple things, like being around other students. But there's other ways around that too. You can do workshops, you can do whatever. But you can get that education at the fraction of the cost of going to college, then that might be the thing to do.
I'm going to shamelessly plug it. Our annual membership is currently $185. That gets you a whole year of education. I mean, that's one day of one class.
Right. But I want to reiterate that, we're not telling you that because of course, I love having the business, but I truly get upset when I see, students have to fork out $20, $30, $40,000, $50,000 for a year of education. 1 year of education. That blows my mind. And I just think the money can be much better spent with professionals, working professionals as well. We only have working professionals on our site, along with Bobby Chu and the other educators, Proco. They're all working professionals that are teaching, and the quality of education that you get through there is fantastic.
And they have their own, and they have just as wide assortments of courses on their sites.
Someone's asking, how difficult do you think it is to get hired though without a BFA? That's why I'm in art college, and I would say that unfortunately your degree doesn't matter in art.
I don't have a BFA. I never got my degree. I went to 3 years of art school, but I never got my associates, so therefore I never got my degree. And in the arts, a degree, it's one thing if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, yeah, they want the proof that you got that education. With the arts, the proof is in what you see. And so, if you put together a beautiful portfolio and you can draw, you can produce, you can animate, you can whatever, it doesn't matter if you have a piece of paper that says you went to school or not. What matters is if you can produce that work.
I'm sure you've heard this one before, but what do you call someone that got all C's in medical school?
I don't know.
Doctor.
A doctor, yeah. Yeah. So, there you have it. All right, let's do one more drawing. Let's do a dog.
Woof.
Woof.
Woof, woof.
You're going to see a dog is surprisingly similar to a bear.
Similar to a bear. Erica Bay just commented saying, I learned more from Aaron's courses than any of my college courses or degrees.
Well, thank you, Erica. I appreciate that.
Someone just asked if we're planning on launching a Netflix-like streaming plan. We already have one. If you go to creatureartteacher.com and look at the membership page, we have both an annual membership that lets you download everything, or we have a monthly, a more affordable, if you just want to pay for a month here or there, we've got a monthly streaming plan as well.
And heck, even on iOS, the iPod or iPad, you have the app on there too,
Yep.
right? The Creature Art Teacher app.
Yep.
And you're working on one for Android currently?
I'm going to draw my dog.
Just watch like a couple more years from now, the Creature Art Teacher site is going to look more like a Netflix streaming hub, like all the individual videos.
I wouldn't mind that.
It already kind of does. You
Yeah.
really haven't gone to our website very often, have you, Dustin?
So when I make up cartoon characters like this, I'm always looking for that simple shape. I think about anatomy.
Someone says, will you make a husky?
Well,
What is a must-have in a studio? Was planning on doing some home studio improvements for my new apartment.
that is so individual from artist to artist. I would hesitate to tell you. I mean, I'm so different. My friend Ronnie is putting together his new studio at home, and his needs are completely different than my needs. He's a printmaker as well, and so he's got to have a space for his giant print maker, or printing press. printmaker. It's a press. It's called a press. I love these, getting simple shapes like this neck.
How many times do you draw the basic shapes when you come up with something new? Do you do a lot of searching or go with what comes up?
I do a lot of searching, and I'll draw simple shapes, but then you'll see me just doodle, and sometimes I'll get really complex, and it'll get away from me, but I'll have an idea in my head. Then I take that and I break that down into simple shapes.
Is there a medium that you haven't tried that you would be interested in? And also, how do you apply the principles such as shading, tone, and lighting across different mediums?
Well, it's understanding the medium, period. So, the concept of lighting is universal. It doesn't matter, like the things I was talking about today, where I'm talking about bounced light. The physics of that's universal. It doesn't matter what medium I'm working in. I have to portray the same look. Now it's just a matter of how do I get that across in watercolor? How do I get that across in oil? How do I get that across in casein, which is a kind of a milk-based paint? It's understanding the medium, and then coming in and taking those concepts and applying them.
And what medium would you like to try?
Oh yeah,
Casein?
casein is one I've never done. And then I've always wanted to do lithography and etching and printmaking, like I was just talking about with Ronnie. Ronnie's talked about teaching me for quite a while, for years, and we've talked about getting together and doing it. And hopefully we'll be able to do that, in his new studio.
Yeah, I've never done any metalwork etching. He does some really nice stuff. I mean, we used to do vinyl, like the linoleum etchings type stuff. That was a lot of fun where you carve it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do ink, but some of those etchings that Ronnie's done look incredible.
So here, I've just made up this dog. But notice the shapes are all really simple, and I think about anatomy, even though it's a cartoon. I think about, how does all of this fit together under the skin? How does it all, as a shape, fit together? And if you can keep those types of things consistent, then you get something that becomes believable and appealing.
Justin, what is your favorite anime movie or series?
Cowboy Bebop.
Yep, that's the one. I'd say my top three is Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and the Gundam franchise. Mainly, I would say 8th MS Team.
Did you ever watch Death Note?
No, I never watched Death Note. I've heard a lot about it.
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the more recent stuff, I've been watching Sword Art Online is a good recent one. And I started catching up on Attack on Titan. So. And Zonji is on here, commented saying,
Hey Zonji.
Just want to say thank you on the draped figure class theme and costume figure drawing. I enjoyed doing 2-minute poses last night alongside the recordings with you.
I saw those. I thought they looked really great.
Your family were great models, and Dustin did a great job photographing, taping, and editing the class.
Nice. I thought he did too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how that class came out.
That was fun to do.
It was a good class.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a ton of work. But
I would say it was is right behind Birds of Prey on how much work we put through that one.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, there you guys, there you have it. So remember, tomorrow, if you're interested, I'm doing a live event with Chuck Williams, and we are going to be talking about our processes for getting movies off the ground, where we, right from the very beginning, where do we get inspired? How do you take that inspiration and coalesce it into a semblance of some kind of story? How do you create characters out of that? How do you create the world? How do you create the thematic? of the journey in the story that you want to tell. From there, how do you bring on a crew? How do you get funding? How do you get pitched to executives? All of this, as your story grows. And so we're going to take you through that entire process, right from the very beginning when we start in the morning through how we, get that thing made and getting into the production later on in the afternoon.
And we've got only a few spots left for that, so if you are interested, act fast because it's tomorrow. And even if you can't tune in, we will send you the replay automatically, but you have to pre-register. You can't.
Yeah, I think we've got 300 slots,
and they're almost gone.
And I think we were up to like 280. Yeah. So we've only got a few left. So if you're interested, get over there. Also, our book. Remember, we've got. Here is actually I got charcoal all over my hands. I don't want to. Where's the? I don't want to. Because yours is right here, Nick, but I don't want to get charcoal over it.
That makes it more impressive.
Yeah. So our new books, we've got 100 drawings right here, and then we've also got my Art of book, covering the last 20 years or so of my art. Those are available at creatureartteacher.com/books. So go on over and check that out. And then also, I want to reiterate Ken Spirduso's new course on an introduction to drawing portraits. Ken is a great teacher. He's very clear, very analytical, very just a wonderful approach to how he does not just a portrait, but it's all the elements. It's the anatomy. It's the lighting. It's how do you see? How do you create a likeness? How do you think about the negative space as well as the positive space? All the different things that go into creating an appealing portrait.
And that's on 50% off pre-order, by the way. So
yes.
When the course comes out in 2 weeks from today, the price goes up.
Yeah, the course is actually done. We've edited it. I think we still got to put the titles on, but it's done. So it's going to be coming out in 2 weeks. So you've got 2 weeks to do the pre-order and get 50% off. That's about all I got. So thanks for today. Today was kind of free form. It was fun, but I was really excited about sharing the book with you guys, and so I'm glad we got to do that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be careful out there. Be nice to one another, and go out and put some beauty back into the world. It's going to be a nice weekend. And for those of you that are signed up for the class, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We're going to have a good time. And other than that, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next Friday. Thanks.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And for any of you newcomers, if you're interested in any wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram over at Dustin_Blaze, where I'm posting new photographs up there of the wildlife I find out there in the field. And also on Creature Art Teacher, you can find my reference packs of Florida wildlife, including gators and otters and all that sorts of stuff. And also coming soon on my end, in a couple of weeks, is that, Nick? Mm-hmm. In a couple of weeks, I got Montana reference packs coming soon. And
that's going to be cool. I've seen the pack for that, and it is gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Cannot wait. A bunch of bison and grizzly bears.
The grizzlies alone are worth it.
Absolutely.
And I'll have a new pack of stick figure drawings coming soon.
Stick figure references.
We're all going to be plugging stuff for an hour.
You know what? Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this. See you guys next week. Until then, be safe. And as always,